Okay, so we're gonna have the class of 2017 one-year representative to the honor board position. Wait, I feel like, am I missing someone? No? Okay. Is everyone up here? Yeah? Okay. Good.
Hi, I'm Mira Jayaraman.
Hi, I'm Adipe Olufemi.
There's for the rising sophomores, there's one one-year position, one two-year position. For rising juniors, there's one one-year position, and for rising seniors, there's three one-year positions. Okay, Melanie.
Why are you interested in the position and what experience do you have that's relevant?
Can you state your name and class here, please?
Melanie Bassi, 2016, I'm so sorry. Why are you interested in the position and what relevant experience do you have?
Mira Jayaraman. I am interested in this position because I came from a high school where I did not feel very trusted. And coming to Bryn Mawr and being exposed to everything the honor code entailed was really kind of a life-changing experience because it really felt like coming home. Mainly because I felt like if in the smaller aspects of the honor code, like being able to leave things around and being able to take quizzes at your own leisure are really important to me. And I think that being able to enforce this and like uphold the honor code to the greater student body would be just a huge honor.
Hi, I'm Adipe Olufemi, class of 2017. I agree with Mira on a lot of her points. I did have that experience of not being trusted by administration, so it's nice to have that coming to Bryn Mawr. But at the same time, I feel like there's still a lot of people in the student body who don't entirely understand what the honor code really entails. So in addition to hopefully getting to learn a lot more about the honor code in this position, I'd like to hopefully impart that knowledge to other people.
And in terms of the other question that you asked about what past experience that we have, I think I have a lot of past experience in confidentiality because of groups that I worked with in high school and like being part of leadership groups in high school. And I think that in terms of being able to talk to the incoming class about the honor code, I believe that I'd be really well qualified to do that in terms of like public speaking and getting word around and planning events situated around the honor code.
Any experience I have is probably tailored more towards facilitation of discussions. So as a posse scholar, I do a lot of that in the meetings. Even in other clubs that I'm a part of, like Sisterhood, we have different topics we talk about. So, for example, I know that part of the duties of being on the honor board is to make sure that you're kind of outreaching to people about different issues. So I think my strengths as a facilitator.
Quick reminder for the next question. Please state your name and class here before you speak each time.
Right.
Okay, Panu.
What other commitments that do you have next year, and how do you plan on balancing the honor, like being on the honor board if you get the position? Because it can be time consuming depending on the time of the year and depending on what's going on. So it might just be like all of a sudden you have a lot of work to do. So how do you plan on balancing that, and how would I like manage?
Mira Jayaraman. Next year I'm on the Extreme Keys, which is an acapella group, and I'm also a customs person. And I think that I'd be really good at being able to manage both that and being a member of the honor board. And I know the amount of time that it entails, and I'm aware of that. And I think that this past year I've been a part of a couple more groups on campus, and I've been able to manage that with being freshmen and adjusting to coming to Bryn Mawr. So yeah, I think in terms of that, I think I'd be able to manage it pretty well.
Adipe Olufemi, class of 2017. Personally, I've had a lot of experience first semester with taking on too many commitments. I'm still on the elections board this year. I might consider signing up for another term again next year. I might do another appointed position, and I've limited my other club activities to just doing sisterhood, for which I hope to become co-head. And I feel like I'm very good at time management in general because organization is one of my strong suits, and if you can organize, you can manage your time.
Wait, though, did you have a question?
So I feel like a big part of the honor code, if that sort of like gets trickled down to the first years, is confrontation. And depending on where the students are coming from, that can be like a not so easy thing to do or not so easy to talk about. How do you feel like you want to address this conversation?
I think that, Mira Jaraman, and I think that that's a conversation that needs to be had not only during Customs Week, because Customs Week is just such a rush with all this information being thrown at you. I think that it's a topic that should be talked about like during events, during the year. And like a lot of times freshmen have a lot of questions about the honor code and like confusion, and some people don't even really know where it's found. And I think that having like teas and like other events would really spark conversation about the honor code, which is really important, and spark conversation about how to have that particular confrontation and who to go to during particular instances. And I think that having other events would be really important, and publicizing those events especially is really important. So.
The GPA class of 2017, I agree with Mira. There should be a lot more events that keep reminding students of the importance of confrontation. However, at the same time, I feel like in my experience, I haven't had enough reminders from people like Customs or DLT, so maybe trying to do more outreach for DLT and getting them on board with having like a constant reminder throughout the year that, oh, this is still a thing, you should reflect on your experiences you've had so far in the year and what could you make better about it.
Okay. Charlie.
One of the discussions we've been having in SGA is about how the honor code applies to staff and faculty. What's your opinion on how the honor code applies to staff and faculty? It technically does not, correct? But how would you like to expand the conversation to influence not just the undergraduate student body, but the entire class?
I think events like the town hall meeting, Mira Jaraman. I think events like the town hall meeting were important in starting that conversation in terms of what the responsibility that faculty has in terms of the honor code. And I think events like that would be really important. And I know that currently they're not required to sign anything, and they're not really required to uphold anything in terms of the honor code. It's just kind of an unspoken point that they're supposed to follow, but I think that it should be extended to a little bit more than that. And I think as an honor board member, I would work toward having that happen, and work toward the staff and faculty being more cooperative about the honor code and understanding more of what it entails.
The GPA Femi class of 2017. So I know that I actually went to a town hall about a situation that happened during the week. And I feel like encouraging staff and faculty to attend these events and become more aware of especially the social aspects of the honor code, because I know that microaggressions are a huge problem on campus. So getting faculty more aware of that would be one huge step we could take.
Okay, Melanie and then.
So this is a two-part question. One, have you read the honor code? Two, describe it in one word.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Or summarize
summarize.
One word, relevant.
All encompassing.
Yes, and respect. GPA Femi class of 2017.
Okay, Hannah.
Hannah Ritzman, class of 2017. A lot of students come to Bryn Mawr with a lot of different ideas on what is plagiarism, what constitutes plagiarism, and what doesn't. Do you have any ideas to how to get everybody on the same page of not just plagiarism, but like larger honor code infractions. It's like, yeah.
Mira Jaraman. Well, there is information on plagiarism available on the SJ blog, so like it's not like they have a reason to not know this, because it is like the duty of like every Bryn Mawr student to like have read the honor code and to know those aspects of it. And so I think that also by publicizing the fact that it is available online and like publicizing the fact that there are several resources available is really important for the freshmen. Again, not just during Customs Week, but at other times as well.
Duke Bailey Femini, class of 2017. I guess there are two things I would say to that point, is that I feel like in terms of specific instances of plagiarism, I feel like professors should be a lot more clear about their standards. I know that can be an issue at times. And another thing that I know is that I think really trying to advertise the existence of the SGA blog in general on social media would be very helpful, because even though a lot of this information is accessible, there's still a lot of people on campus who don't know the honor code and different aspects of SGA.
Namita. Then
Namita Dorfman, 2015. So kind of one of the hardest parts of the honor code is that we do have a consortium relationship where students from other colleges come to Bryn Mawr and we go there. How do you feel about conveying Bryn Mawr standards of the honor code to students who are taking classes here for Swarthmore or from Hampton?
So, Mira Jaraman, and I think a lot of those, I think in a lot of ways, the like TRICO involvement on campus is like mostly in class, and I think that it does fall on the professors to enforce their own ideas of the honor code, like on students in that case. And I think when it comes to like social ideas of the honor code, I think it's pretty important that Bryn Mawr students themselves are a mode of communication to their friends in the BICO or in the TRICO or at Penn when it comes to what it means to come onto the Bryn Mawr campus and have that responsibility when you're on campus to like adhere to the honor code.
Bailey Femini, class of 2017. Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, my question was just how do we ensure that the honor code is enforced for students in like the consortium who take classes at Bryn Mawr who spend time at Bryn Mawr?
Okay, I think one way to do that is, like, if you have a friend, for example, just give them a brief overview of what's okay and what's not. I think doing that, even if it's not, it seems like a regular thing that you do anyway, just doing that one little thing can really help people understand it better. And I feel like also, lost my train of thought. I feel like also within the TRICO community especially, I feel like a lot of the standards we would hold ourselves to are kind of similar in some ways. So I feel like communicating to especially Haverford and Swarthmore students, this shouldn't be as much of a problem.
okay, I'm gonna go to okay. Then Melanie and then Hannah again.
Didn't you say someone?
Yep, Hamadu doesn't have a question.
Oh, okay. Why are you applying for a one-year position rather than
Mira Jaraman, and I wanted to apply for 1 year first, rather than to like commit to a 2 year, just because I was wondering whether I'd be going abroad or I'd have other responsibilities that wouldn't let me give everything to this position. And I know that next year, I know that I probably won't be doing as much in terms of other activities as I might be doing my junior year. So.
Duke Bailey Femini, class of 2017. My concerns are very similar. I'm still not entirely sure if I want to go abroad. I probably won't be able to because of pre-med. But I also know that I also have a lot of other interests in SGA and in other clubs on campus, so I'm leaving room for myself to have those experiences.
Hannah Rifkin, class of 2017. I was wondering, so Haverford has a different honor code than we do. Could you speak to like your opinion on the differences between the honor codes?
Mayor Jarman, to be honest, I'm not super versed on the exact differences between the two honor codes. I feel like some of it has to do with like final exams, but I'm not absolutely certain about Harvard's honor code. I'm more familiar with our honor code.
Due to Femi class of 2017, I have no experience with Haverford's honor code.
Elizabeth? Yeah. Yes.
Elizabeth Vandenberg, 2016. Can you describe the difference between going in front of the honor board versus going in front of the dean's panel? Why there's a difference there?
I believe Mayor Jarman, and I believe going in front of the honor board also includes student representatives. Is that, yeah, I think that's
Due to Femi class of 2017, I believe the main difference between sitting on in front of the dean's panel and going in front of the honor board alone is that the dean's panel deals with instances in which the honor board doesn't really have that much. It's not really exactly in the jurisdiction of the honor board to determine, and I feel like it's a lot more of a more weighty or serious offense.
Oh, Melanie?
Melanie Fox, 2016. Do you have any ideas for programming or initiatives you'd like to do if you're elected?
Mayor Jarman, I think that I want to do a lot more events and activities throughout the year to make sure I facilitate more information about what the honor code is, and so that students aren't as confused about their resources.
Due to the Femi class of 2017, I feel like speaking to the point on confrontation, I feel like as a person who comes from a completely different background than a lot of people, I feel like different modes of confrontation there should be like a workshop on that, and that should be something explored during Customs Week and I guess a part of Guild, if possible.
Melanie.
How are you with checking your email? Are you simply just quickly respond?
Mayor Jarman, I'm typically really good with responding to email, and I respond within a couple of hours. I check my email obsessively on my phone, so.
Due to Femi class of 2017, I check my email every 5 minutes, and I try to read the first 50 messages in my inbox, and if it's really urgent, I will reply within an hour.
Bridget.
That you sort of had selective experience, and how do you apply that?
Mayor Jarman, I think a couple of things that were missed was one was kind of traditions of the honor code and how they tie together, because I was really confused about how they did that and how certain actions during certain traditions were right or wrong, and I was confused about that. And I think also about finals week, there was a lot of confusion there about how exactly finals would work, and it obviously as finals came closer, it was explained to me by various people, but it wasn't something that was cleared up at the beginning of the semester, so it would be nice to have that cleared up.
Due to the Femi class of 2017, I feel like the social honor code isn't entirely clear, and there are a lot of, I guess, implicit rules that are constantly thrown around, and I feel like as a first year that's been very confusing, because I've actually had the opportunity to talk to a few people who are on the honor board, and they have told me that one problem is that there are a lot of things that people think are a part of the honor code, but not really, so I think that distinction needs to be made a lot more clear.
Melanie.
So, Miri, you already mentioned dealing with confidential information, but I just wanted to go back to that. So being on the board, having to deal with a lot of confidential information can be really stressful. So how will you get support while maintaining people's confidentiality?
Mira Jerome, I think that a lot of aspects of confidentiality, like, it's been explored a lot at Bryn Mawr because you do talk to a lot of people and you do have to keep certain sensitive things of sensitive nature a secret. And I think that when it comes to those things, I don't necessarily have to talk to other people about them, and I can talk to people on the honor board if I feel troubled about something, if I feel worried. And I definitely know like which resources to go to wherein I can still maintain my confidentiality. So.
The Duke Funding Class of 2017, I agree that most of this should be able to be contained within the honor board and the necessary personnel involved. I think my experience with that comes as practicing the idea of safe space and policy, and as well as being exposed to different aspects of medical confidentiality, like your rights to not have your information exposed and things like that.
Bridget.
That would be very sensitive for 17. Sorry, someone else has a question.
I think this is my last question. So you spoke a little bit about this.
Name and class here, please, Melanie.
Melanie watching 2016. Anybody else in this room doesn't know who I am by now.
Recording.
What do you think that the code brings to the table?
Can you repeat that?
What do you think that the honor code brings to the community?
Mira Jaraman, I think most importantly, it brings a sense of trust and a sense of respect. And this idea that you're home and you're among this like network of people who also follow the same set of designated ideals that you do. And I think that's really, really important in establishing community at Bryn Mawr.
Duke Funding Class of 2017, I think that what this brings to the community is this idea of respect. So not only do you have respect for one another, you have respect for this campus, and you eventually learn this principle of respect that you can carry with you the rest of your life.
Bridget.
Sorry, this is very fast. 2017. So I remember quickly from the last SGA meeting this semester, we told that there were like twice as many board hearings last semester as there normally are in the normal semester. So what is something that you want to do to sort of increase the visibility of the honor code and increase hopefully student campus respect for the honor code, not just first years but also upperclassmen as well, since it has to be just the person who's supposed to know what years they were.
Can you repeat the last like sentence of your question? Because I didn't hear it.
Sorry. Basically, like, what are you planning on doing to increase the visibility of the honor code and trying to promote continuing respect for the honor code for coming years, and not just for freshmen, but also encouraging upperclassmen to continue to respect it, because we still don't know this is the first time we don't know what years the like if there was a significant larger number of like freshmen. So just across the board.
Mira Jaraman, class of 17. I think that obviously we need to do things like go beyond Customs Week, as I was saying earlier, and I think that the honor code should be something that's like displayed more prominently in terms of like in the SGA blog and like where it's located and stuff. And I think that it's I think that it should be something that's just enforced throughout the year, that people should know, like using events, like using resources, and there should be emails sent out regarding like different resources for the honor code. And
Duke Funding Class of 2017. One thing I can think of that I can do right now is actually post this information in the Class of 2017 group, because I know a lot of people use that group for different events and to find out about things. Another thing that we could do is possibly, advertise, like do an advertising campaign about with little posters everywhere, giving constant reminders about things. And I think having more town hall type meetings where we talk about the honor code, not just as the document itself, but in the context of things like petitions, where people can actually really see the applicability of what we're talking about.
Are there any other questions? Great, thanks guys. We're gonna have class of 2017 2-year representative to the honor board.
Hi, I'm Norma Marcus Moran, class of 2017 for the 2-year honor board representative.
Melanie.
Why are you interested in this position and what relevant experience do you have?
Well, honestly, I wasn't thinking of running for this position until I got Molly's email saying that I was nominated for it. So that was about a week ago, and I looked up the position and I said, well, why not? This is, the honor code makes Bryn Mawr special. It makes it home for me. I read in the New York Times about a few days ago that in Middlebury College or University, that for the first time in 49 years, they were going to have their economics exams were going to be watched again by professors, and I don't want that to happen at Bryn Mawr. I want to be able to walk out of the school in the future and be able to say, I come from Bryn Mawr College and I wanted to represent, I want people to know that Bryn Mawr represents trust, represents freedom, and I just want people to know Bryn Mawr as a place where the honor code works.
Melanie.
So I'm going to ask you a lot of the same questions. So two-part question. Have you read the honor code, and can you summarize/describe it?
Yes, I read it. And the honor code to me means freedom for both students and professors, and it also means trust, whether it's for academics or social life, like everyday life reforms.
Molly McDougall 2016. How much do you like email, and how good are you at dealing with and responding to it?
I actually get my Bryn Mawr emails on my phone, and I am always on my phone, and if I'm not on my phone, I'm on my laptop. And I would say I am really fast at answering emails. I'm on my phone all the time, and it's very bad. But yes, I can do that really fast.
Melanie.
So can you talk a little bit about what your other big time commitments are going to be next semester, recognizing that the board can be a pretty significant time commitment? And I guess I particularly want to know about if you're doing any DLT positions, and also will you be on campus for the entirety of your time?
I will. I'm actually applying for early graduation, so I'll be graduating I should be graduating 2 years into the 4, and so I cannot go abroad. So that's the first thing. Then I'm on the swim team, and I'm also applying to be a French TA. So those are the only things that will be time consuming for me, I believe, next semester and the coming semesters. And I am pretty good with hectic schedules and time management. I come from France, where high school and middle school schedules are I was at school for over 40 hours a week in high school, and it was school from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and school on Saturday mornings, and yes, without counting homework and extracurricular activities. So I believe that I can handle whatever whatever time commitment I need for the SGA.
Pamela.
I'm not sure if it's a question directed at you, but since you're graduating early, how would that affect you standing on?
Well, I'm a freshman now.
But
so
once
it's
your class year changes, how does it
Oh, I don't think my class year changes. I might even graduate in 3.5 years. I'm still class of 2017.
Because if you're graduating 3 things, you have and it's like not to approve this question goes to, but how would that affect the standing on the board?
I don't, that's a good question, but like as far as I'm concerned, I'm still
Clarifying question: Have you been able to apply for that yet?
I talked about it with my dean, and I'm going to apply for it next semester, so in the fall.
Okay, so currently she's still
Currently, I'm still
officially like.
I understand that. It's like me being confused. That's like it was not towards you.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I might even apply like 3.5 years, so I would still like come back to graduate with my class. And well, as far as I'm concerned, like even for room draw, like I didn't count as like I'm just going to be like I might even just like graduate with my class and just like won't spend the time here. It's just like I don't think it makes any difference.
Go for it.
So, do you have ideas for programming or for initiatives that you'd like to work on at your
I would like to work on advertising the honor code. It's not really like academically, but more like social life, like in dorms, for example. Like what I think of doing is, like maybe make a Twitter, Instagram, something honor code, and like every week or every so often post like fun like one fact about the honor code or like a phrase. So that, like, even though students wouldn't, like, I know that I read the honor code once, and then I read it again because I had to, like, refresh it, like, for today, but, like, students don't usually go back and just, like, go read the entire honor code, so that would be, like, if you give it to them bits by bit, it might be easier for them to understand, and it's a good refresher. And also maybe put Post-its in the dorms, like just like remind them like bit by bit.
Melanie, back to 2016. So being on the board and having to deal with a lot of confidential information can be stressful. So how will you get support while having to maintain this confidentiality?
I'm good at keeping secrets, and I believe that I have good people skills. I'm a good teammate, and I've also been class representative for a long time in elementary school, middle school, and high school. So I've had to deal with personal like problems with students, and like people usually would come and talk to me, and like I'm someone like that people can trust, and I've always been able to communicate between professors, faculty, and students without anyone getting upset or anyone getting hurt.
Melanie. Great.
What do you think the honor code brings to the community?
I think it brings a sense of trust between students. I've never felt this way before coming to Bryn Mawr. I come from a city in France where like you go out and you have to hold on to your cell phone. You just can't leave it on the table. And then I moved here. I moved to New York, and same thing. Like you go out, you have to hold on to your belongings. You can't just like go to the bathroom, leave your phone on the table, and expect it to be there. And so coming here, like that was a small part of the article that made me feel at home. It made me feel like I could just like leave my sweater on a chair and I would find it the next day. And also academically, the whole time I spent in France, I was in a French academic institution, and we are constantly watched. We're basically in a prison. The way that professors watch you, and you also have like the surveillants, which is basically just like people who are hired to watch the students. It literally means watchers. And so coming here and on my first midterm, it was a bio midterm, and I saw the professor walk out of the classroom, and I was really confused. It's like, well, why aren't they watching us? What's going on? And then I understood, like, this is all part of the honor code, and it means a lot to me to keep it this way. And you know, like what I first said, that like in other institutions, Middlebury, they're bringing back proctors for their exams.
I have to cut you off.
What?
Sorry, you're at time. I have to cut you off.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, it just means like, yes.
Does anyone else have questions for this position? Yay, okay, thank you. All right, so in the interest of time, there are 2 candidates running for class of 2016, 1 year up to the honor board, but neither of them could be here, Amanda Guo and Celeste Gambino. So if you have questions for that position, can you just bring them to me after we do the senior honor board position, if you don't mind, because it's like getting really late. And then we'll do the class of 2015 1 year representative to the honor board position. And one of the candidates for this position, okay, so 3 people can be elected to this position, and one candidate, Jen Toman, couldn't be here tonight, so she'll be answering the questions via email.
Right now on class of 2015.
Wait, can we, is it on?
Right now on class of 2015.
Why are you interested? Now that you got to 2016, why are you interested in the position and what relevant experience do you have?
Like we said before, I didn't consider running until I got the nomination, but I always thought of the honor code as sort of like a backbone or like a very integral part of the Bryn Mawr community and my experience here. And in reading more about what the position would entail and what I would be doing and becoming more a part of SGA, which I've never had the opportunity to do, but through, it just seemed like something that I yes. And in terms of relevant experience, I'm very good at listening to people and not making assumptions. So I think in trying to see the best of people, and I think it's a very big part of the honor code is where a lot is expected. A lot of people is expected of us. Like and when you start to expect the best of people and think that they're likely to do what's right, they start to expect more from themselves and start to meet those expectations where I think. And so I think that having that sort of mentality would
Real quick, can you speak like really close to the microphone? It
right.
really helps it a lot. Sorry.
Now that you got to 2016, have you read the honor code and summarized / described in one word?
I have. And in one word, I think I would have to use trust, because I think everything that's there is something that you would want to do in an ideal situation. And so being trusted to do that, to follow those rules that have been created for the entire community, and it's all about trust.
Molly McDougall, 2016. So there's a lot of confidential information you have to deal with being on the honor board, and some of it can be very stressful. What resources would you use to be able to deal with that stress without breaking the trust and confidentiality of other people?
I would definitely use my other board members as a resource, because they're there to be used as
we're a collective group, I think, and I don't think I would feel the need to talk to anyone else outside of that to break confidentiality, because I know that it's really important that that things be kept secret and not. I wouldn't want anyone to know of anything that I would think would be confidential, so I would do the same for them.
Melanie.
How fast are you with responding to email?
I'm pretty good at responding to email. I don't check, I'm not on my phone constantly or at my laptop constantly, so if I'm in class or something, I wouldn't. But I respond to email as soon as I see it.
Molly McDougall 2016. If your very best friend was invited into a conversation about an infraction of the honor code which they committed, how would you deal with that as a member of the honor board yourself?
I think in that situation I would have to think more as being part of the honor board, because that's, but also I think I would act the same actually, because I would try to be as considerate of a stranger's feelings and how, when you say invited into a conversation, do you mean?
I mean like a hearing.
Oh yes. I think I would act in the same way as I would with a stranger, because I would try to be just as courteous, but also try to discover what happened with no prejudices attached. So the fact that they're a friend wouldn't color me. I would hope that it wouldn't color me in any way. So I feel like it wouldn't, but I've never been in such an experience, so I don't know if I could.
Melanie.
Melanie Bocci 2016. What other time commitments do you have for next year? And will you be on campus for the entirety of the term?
I'll be on campus for the entirety of the term. I'm a theater technician and I TA for French. And this year I work at the dining hall, but I'm not sure if I'll be continuing to work at the dining hall, but I'll definitely be TAing and teching. So, but I've been pretty good at balancing work and other extracurriculars and school, so I think it will be fine.
Do you more?
Yeah, I was what do you think that the honor code brings to the community?
I think it definitely brings a feeling of home and of closeness, because I don't know, it really is something that sets us apart from the outside world, because in the outside world, although you would hope that people would want to do the right thing, you know that it's not reasonable to expect everything to I think it's good to create a space where you can be idealistic and expect people to behave in certain ways and know that they will. And so I love that we can be trusted to take exams, that we can trust our peers to respect us, and we know that we'll do the same, because it's sort of a give and take.
Are there any further questions for this position? All right, thank you. This concludes our April 2014 Candidates Forum. Thank you all for coming and staying, and thank you to Melanie, Elizabeth, and Gabby, and earlier Emma for helping with minutes. Bryn Mawr.
Sorry, I'm not